Welcome back, everyone, to the BNI Partners and Excellence Show. I am Andy, and today I have with me Adrian Van Vleck with Fitness Nerd Online. Adrian,
how's it going?
Let's work out.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah. It's time for another show. Come on, man. I think there's like 25 on there. Let's go. Let's get some folks.
The whole time? Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do this the whole time for the next hour. We're not going to stop. Okay, listen. Here's the deal. We're going to talk about fitness today. If you couldn't tell already, it's all about fitness. Adrian's experience in coming into the fitness world, helping people, being in BNI Partners of Excellence, coming back to BNI Partners of Excellence. We're going to talk about the lacrosse tryouts. We're going to talk about sports. We're going to talk about hydration. We're going to talk about everything that people need to know to help refer you and get their own lives back in order and the people that they love and care about. How's that sound?
Let's do it.
Where do you want to start with the whole Fitness Nerd Online? Can we start with the name?
Yeah. So I think it goes back. I think the whole space of being like nerd and pop culture is way different now than it was when I was in high school, right? So when I was in high school, I started like playing Magic the Gathering and was really into like just role-playing games. But those kind of things then were very isolating. So I, got bullied. I wasn't really into sports. I didn't really want to do any of that stuff. And it was actually kind of asking about tryouts. I got into, I wanted to get into lacrosse. I did a trip back east for a summer and I saw it and I wanted to do it. And my sophomore year of high school, they had it. It was the first year they had it. So I got into it, but I wasn't in shape. I wasn't fit. It was the first time I've done anything like that. And actually, so I was like, well, I want to get into better shape. So I actually joined water polo. My dad didn't want me to do like contact sports, even though I'm doing lacrosse now. But I did water polo, and it was one of the hardest things I did at the time. I had a really cool group of friends. There's a lot of awesome people, and that community really pushed me and drove me. And it really taught me about the importance of community. It taught me about the importance of having other people support you and just being part of a goal. And that was really, I think, like the catalyst that started my fitness journey, because that got me into like wanting to take my athletics more seriously, which got me into lacrosse. That got me to moving back east for a few years and then getting into fitness so I can be better at lacrosse, like even more like elevating it because the people I played with were so skilled. I was like, I need an edge of something. And I got into strength conditioning, and that eventually led to me just being a personal trainer.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the name like Fitness Nerd, I think about that. I think about like the homage of me wanting to like all these things I was really into, and that fitness when I got into it, because at the time it was like jocks and nerds kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now I think it's a lot more.
There's a lot of overlap.
Yeah, there's a lot of overlap now. There didn't used to be, right?
No.
That was something, like I said, where you used to be like, oh, I watch anime, and people would be like, the hell, you're a weirdo, go sit in the corner and not talk to us. But now it's so blended, and there's people, which is great to see. And when I got into to the online side of things, I was like, I just wanted to be more authentic. Actually, I felt like when I was in BNI the first time and I was doing evolution fitness coaching, this is kind of wild, but I was doing a lot of advertising through Charlene, my wife, because she was just like, I think there was a lot of people who were more in person who just gravitated towards a female for advertising, and she looks great and it works. And I felt really guilty about that at the time. And I was like, hey, when I started going online, I was like, I want to be authentic. I want this to be who I am, and not something where I feel like I need to be advertising from behind somebody else. And that's where I was like, I'm just going to step into my own space. And the pandemic was one of the best times to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, look, I know you use the word nerd, like kind of have like wholeheartedly, but like not really poking fun at nerds, but you're like, look, I'm a nerd already.
Yeah.
But taking that same kind of nerd focus out of nerd things, I'll say, and putting into like athletically nerdy things about fitness is important.
Yeah, because I think fitness, I mean, that's one of the things is that I think that like fitness can give people confidence, well-being. It can give people community, right? It can make people feel better about themselves. It can give them purpose. There's all these things that fitness does, and I want to give that to people, right? I think a lot of times we focus so much on fitness being like, oh, it's about how we look. And while that might be the entry point for a lot of people, it shouldn't be the end goal, I think, for a lot of people. They get into it, as you've been talking to me about, like the new community that you have with fitness, right? Like there's a sense of doing hard things with people. There's a sense of like challenging yourself. And that is so hard to replicate through other things. And I think that like that's what I want to do. And I want to do that for people who I think were typically bullied and isolated through what they were used to doing, which was like, you know, whether it was like anime or just anything that's like that pop culture related. There's a lot of people in my same age group who felt that same way. Definitely, if like I said, I think in younger demographics, people who are like, I don't know, like 20 to 30, it's going to feel a lot different because they're growing up. Like it was a lot more of the popular thing to do or stuff to get into, you know?
Well, let's be honest. Like a long time ago, magic was not the coolest thing to do.
Or Dungeons and Dragons, right? Yeah.
Yes. No, that was like that was like fringe nerd territory. You're like
still kind of is. Not
extra. Well, no, it's just stereotypically, right? It's just like extra nerdy territory.
Yeah.
Now, so much of that has become mainstream culture, especially with like the evolution of like Comic-Con and how big graphic novels have been. Like with not graphic novel, what are they called? Anime, as well as like comic book. Yeah, and then comic book turned to big screen. And so like there's been this kind of like the wall has been reduced for barrier for entry for it to become mainstream and become cool. And it is cool. So I love that you have that the name integrated because you're like, it is a piece of me as much as this other thing is a piece of me too, and actually is inviting to other people that might feel that same way about their fitness. I like that. Yeah. And I like that also because whether you're saying it or not overtly, there is a stereotype about Magic the Gathering and who you are if you're playing that and what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there is. Yeah. And that's where like when I was in high school, like I got out of it for a long time because and in high school, again, I didn't want to be that person who was so like shunned and shamed. And like when I recently got back into it, I was like, this is just fun. I have a good group of friends. I'm like why, like, I think a lot of times we get shamed into doing things we really enjoy because of how it was the outlook of it from other people. And definitely when I was in high school, that was one of those things, you know? So now it's a lot different because like I said, it's not just more accepted, but I think I've just grown into a place where like, I enjoy doing this. I'm just going to keep doing it. You know?
And look, we're living in this era where like you being more authentic and you being yourself is actually what people want. Yes. And the people who are doing that today more regularly, more frequently, and more often in public space are reaping the reward for that, I'll say. And I don't mean that in like a capitalistic, like selfish kind of way, but really what's happening right now is like, if you can stand the test of being yourself publicly, that will have a benefit for you in your business too.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
It's completely changed now than even the way it was a couple of years ago. Yeah. And I think some of that has to do with when people just were isolated and the only way they could connect to other people was online. Yeah. And it's like, well, if it's not going to be like a real in-person thing, then I want the closest thing there is, which would mean I'm looking for people being honest and that are being caring and considerate and compassionate through the screen if I can't have that in person.
Yeah, and that's actually where like so when I made the pivot over, and it was during the pandemic, the big thing that I wanted to do was give that same community to like I said, the like fitness and people who are into nerds, people who are I think a little bit more like marginalized, right? So what I do and how we get most clients is we have a Facebook group was a big community. You know, it was incredibly active. Like I think at the time when it was most active, it was like 300 posts a day in the group with like 7,000 people. Whoa. So it was just it was insanely
That's
active.
A lot.
Yeah, it was a metric ton at the time. Now it's still really active, but it's definitely not what it was at like the height of it. But that was one of those things where like, and that's just people talking to each other. We had a lot of like online community events where we'd have like virtual 5Ks. We would make like this is actually really cool. We called them mega events. So like we made this it was a battle royale. So like we let everybody volunteer to be on teams. And I think at the time we did this for fantasy. So there's like there was there was like a Lord of the Rings team, but there was also man, I'm blanking out what it is. Monty Python, the Holy Grail team, like stuff like that, right? And you got points for either there's things you could do to get points. There's another list of exercises you could do to take points away from other teams. And so you'd have like 10 teams, and we have live points going.
Wait. Hold on. This is straight out of like card playing.
Yeah, it was awesome. Right. So when you give people the option to take points from teams, they just go nuts.
Oh, dude,
right?
I can
And
imagine.
there's a live ranking of it, and you host it for like 5. So like every day we chop another team off.
Dude, no
And
way.
it just went on for like, yeah, it was cool. It's great. So we do stuff like that. Like we just did a Mario Kart themed one, same kind of idea, but you'd get like distances and there's heats. And we
Oh
would
my God.
spin, like the lowest team would get like a bonus. Like they would get like, if like we'd spin it, it was I have people who help me out who are like Excel wizards, and they help
Yeah,
set all
like
this
game
up.
theory people.
Oh yeah, dude, they're great at it. Yeah. So like people who like volunteer, because like we just do it for free, but like that's part of being a community, right?
Yeah.
We use we have the community, and then we have other avenues to get people into fitness.
Yeah.
And we give a space for people for them to be like authentic and not feel pressured.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. Like you're letting them bring their skill set that's outside of fitness into that same space, and then create these cool games and stuff, and use that understanding of Excel to come into play and practice for a healthy competition.
Yeah, and then
literally about health.
And then literally what I do is like I'm just there. I host this community, and then I'm just like, hey, if anybody actually needs professional help, I'm here, right? And a lot of people don't, and that's cool, right? But I'm just, hey, if you need professional help, I'm the one who organizes this stuff, and
dude,
I'd love to work with you.
That's so great. You're like the mayor of like Nerd Town.
It is,
fitness Nerd Town.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's so at its peak. How many people did you have in this group?
I mean, it's still growing. It's
what?
Maybe not as active. It's at like probably like 24,000 people right now.
are you for real?
Yeah. I bet if I look at my
look right now. We're gonna look
right now. The problem is the approval is probably like the wait to approve is probably like 400.
It's a lot of people.
It's
well, while Adrian's doing that, we're going to go ahead and take a water break. This water break has been brought to you by Cal Coast Pest Management. Make sure you get your hydration from Cal Coast Pest Management. You need to take at least a 10 to 15 second water break in between your workouts, especially if you're doing high cardiovascular, high heart rate, high intensity training. You need to take your water. Thank you, Cal Coast Pest Management, for our water bottle. This episode is brought to you by Cal Coast Pest Management. You should probably take some water. We're a couple minutes into the show already. Oh,
yeah.
We're going to get to hydration later.
I'm awful at approving people, but look, it's at 437 for approval.
Oh, wow.
But we're at 23,300.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, geez, that's a lot of people, man.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And it's just all across the nation?
Oh, the
world.
Yeah.
Oh, what? It's outside the United States too?
Yeah. Like I mean, if I look at the demographics, it's mostly like USA, and then like the other like Canada, Australia, UK, mostly those, but there's still people from all over. Yeah.
That's super cool, man. So where is it? Is this going somewhere else that's got a predefined destination, or are you letting it kind of just become what it's going to become? And...
Yeah, I just let it become what it's become. It's kind of shifted in like, I think, focus and gear, but I'm still just there to be like, look, here's, if you guys need professional help, we give spaces for people. I think that was one of the things that like when we made the group, I realized like how just how much people do it and how isolating people are, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things I think that was like a strength of the group, is it gave people connection. Like, I'm not joking when I say this. I think there's been two separate couples who met in the group and got married and are together, and they've been together for like 6-7 years. Yeah, I'm not joking about this.
Amazing.
Because I just love the space, right? As I'm not trying to like steer it somewhere. There's things I don't want it to be. Like, and I'm really like, for every good group, you need to represent what the group isn't.
Okay.
So it's not for people who are elitist. Like, anytime somebody tries to gatekeep or is like, oh, you're not good enough to be immediate. No, like my attitude is like, if you step in the second you make the decision to want to improve yourself, you're welcome in here.
You're in.
Yeah. That's it. Right. The second you make that decision, where you start, what hurdles you have, we're going to be here to help you out, because it's a different spectrum for everybody. Like, we want to support the people who are trying to set a world record powerlifting, and we want to support the people who they're 600 pounds want to finally change their life. You know, like, both those people need space. They both need to be cheered on equally, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's valuable, and I think that's one of the things is, and I feel like anytime you get into like, and I think you see this in a lot of spaces and cultures, you just see a lot of elitism and gatekeeping. Like, oh, you're not one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh, you don't. Oh, you're talking about, I see it a lot in anime groups too, but like everything in other fitness groups where it's like, oh, you're not really a fitness person because you don't bench 225.
Right.
Oh, or
that's the qualifier to understanding fitness and wellness.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you see that a lot on like Instagram. There's so many people who are like, these are the 6 things you need to do to be a man, and it's like, you need to bench 225, you need a deadlift 450. There's so much stuff like that, right? And I think it's cool to have markers, but at the same time, I'm like, like in the same
but not
breath-
being able to do those, but being unable to do those things doesn't disqualify you.
Yeah.
And I think that's the disqualifiers is like this line in the sand. It's like, dude, come on. That's
Yeah.
not a That's not a disqualifier. That is
Yeah.
that is applicable to all.
Correct. Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. So and that's where I think that like when we made the group, like that's what we don't want it to be, but like it shifted in terms of focus. There's like inside like memes that we have like about me. Like there's a joke that like anytime I travel and I'm outside like the country, it's like all hell breaks loose in the group, and like it just becomes its own thing for like 3
What?
days. Yeah, they'll wait until like they're good at it and like they'll find it, but like they when I went to Japan the first time, this is actually bad, they called it the thirstening, which was like we have a rule about like no like you know, no photos that are meant to be like sexual or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like just if you're going to share a photo of a selfie, it's fine. And the second I left to Japan, they're like, all right, dad's gone. They literally be like, dad's not here. Time to go like crazy. And they'll just have like fun with it and like really silly things. And it'll be like, we have a screenshot of it of the most active our group was. It was like this 24-hour period where there was like 700, 800 posts. And like in the group, yeah. And like it's still the highest point. Like if you zoom out from it, like it's just mountain
Holy
of
cow.
participation. But it's a cool time. It's
And it
just
was called the thirsting, huh?
yeah, the thirst.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's a great segue into this commercial break. We'll be right back. This water break has been brought to you by Cal Coast Pest Management. Make sure you get your hydration from Cal Coast Pest Management. You need to take at least a 10 to 15 second water break in between your workouts, especially if you're doing high cardiovascular, high heart rate, high intensity training. You need to take your water. Thank you, Cal Coast Pest Management, for our water bottle. This episode is brought to you by Cal Coast Pest Management. All right, and we're back from our commercial break. Adrian, we've been sitting for a while here. We should do an exercise with these weights here on the table. What's something we could do sitting right here without having to collapse everything around us? What can we do real quick? 5 reps. Go.
Oh man,
Pick your
we could do
exercise.
some shoulder presses. I mean, we did
Shoulder
these earlier,
presses.
but I think if I do anything else here, I'm just gonna hit the desk.
5. Let's go.
I can do
4,
a one arm curl here, and I
3,
can press here. This table is
2, 1. All right, and then high five. All right, let's go.
Pretty good.
All right. Ooh. I think I need to keep doing that because those felt a little heavy. Ah.
Yeah, the more you do it, the better it'll go.
All right. I need more water. This water break has been brought to you by... I'm just kidding. I don't need more water. I want to talk about sedentary lifestyle, man.
Yeah.
This is a huge problem, and we are sitting here, yes, talking about sedentary lifestyle. This is a huge problem. There is just way too many parts of our life that we just find comfort in. It's our couch, it's our car seat in the long commute home, and then it's our desk when we're at work. And when we're not at work, we're hanging out at the beach, sitting down. We're sitting down everywhere all the time. How can you, or how have you been able to help people move from a sedentary lifestyle into an active lifestyle?
Dude, that's a good question. I mean, I think there's a lot, without like getting really into the weeds here, I think there's a lot about like just car-centric culture in general, where like you said, like we're in a car, like how did I get here today, right?
Bike.
I ride here, yeah. And it was a couple miles longer than I thought it was gonna be, but I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll get there in time, I'll be okay. A couple more. Got on the bike, I was like, that's a little longer than I thought, but nah, it's okay. But we also live in a place that we could do that, you know? Not everybody, somebody who's in, you know, Wisconsin in winter isn't going to be able to. And that's actually one of the things is like now that I'm working with people all over, I've realized that like there are huge differences in getting somebody to be more active in San Diego than it is to get somebody to be more active in like upstate New York. And that's the reality of it, right? When environment kind of shrinks due to like weather, the things, we're just more sedentary. But also I think that what we want to do is teach people that fitness is something that they could do with other people. It's something that they can do when they're doing other activities as well. So a really common one might just be like if they're going to go meet with somebody for coffee, they could just meet for a walk, right? And maybe they can get coffee and go for a walk, right? Like, and they could just chit chat and do these things. I think there's a lot of times that these ideas could be married together. A big one is when people talk about like with kids. So being active with their kids versus being separate. Like if I spend time with my kids or I'm doing fitness by myself, it's like, well, we have to figure this out because there's only so many hours in the day, right? If I ask you to go walk for 2 hours and you're like, Adrian, I'm exhausted. I don't have enough time. I just got off, my shift at 2 hours in the car driving home. And here I am. And I still have to like, I still have to give my wife attention and give my kids attention. And how am I going to find these 2 hours?
Right.
You know what
That
I mean?
2 hours got to come from something else.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah. It's 100% what it is. If you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else, whether that's inadvertently or not. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to find ways to kind of like fit these things together.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's walking pads are probably one of the best things you could do, because like a walking pad, if you could work and walk, if you can play video games and walk, if it could just be like I'll get on a fan bike and just watch like some TV shows and catch up. It doesn't need to be hard. It just needs to be something, right? And I think that's where we don't need to turn. If I'm just like doing some light cardio and watching something, I don't need to be like sweating bullets and I just need to get my body moving.
Right.
Because when we talk about being sedentary, there's a huge difference between, like, if we talk about steps, 2,000 steps a day, which is I think what most people who are like real sedentary get.
Yeah.
They get about between like 2,000 and 3,000, and there's a break point around 7,000 steps for health, like a drastic break point.
Yeah.
I think people always throw the 10K number, but like statistically, it's right
Yeah.
when you hit around 7,000 steps, it'll really like flatline
Mm-hmm.
for a long ways.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So the trick is like, how do we just get you to be a bit more active?
Right.
2,000 to 5,000 steps is literally finding 20 minutes of walking that we could fit into other things.
Yeah.
So if it's like, if you take your kids to a park, can we just walk around when they're playing, right?
Right.
Can you do things with your kids, whether it's sports or being active, right?
Yeah.
Can we do two things at once, whether that's, like I said, cycling and watching a TV show,
Yeah.
or walking and watching a TV show?
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody who I don't know who it was who coined this term, but I think it is a cozy cardio is what they phrased it, which is like, they're like, hey, I'm just gonna, relax and walk, but I'm gonna like play video games on my walking pad, like that's great to do. Like if you could do something like that, because again, it doesn't need to be hard. It just needs to be something to get the body moving.
Well, and so, and what I hear you saying though is the decisiveness is behind that. Like whether it's at your school, your kids playing sports and you're walking around, decision.
Yeah.
Whether you're at work and you have your, if you clock in, clock out, you got half an hour for lunch. Maybe you walk for half the time or part. Maybe you get a walking pad if you're at your desk if you're allowed to have that. But the decision to not be sedentary sounds like where everything starts.
Yes. The reason why the only reason I would object to it is because the things that are not our decisions are socioeconomic. That would need to change.
Okay, talk about that.
So like walking, so a really good example, I went to Japan, number one public transportation place in the world. You walk thousands of steps a day to get around, right? The reason why people lose, if you've ever talked to somebody who like traveled to Europe and they're like, oh, I lost weight. It's because they're walking so much, right?
Yeah.
So there's things that are out of our control, like the walkability of a city, right? How safe somebody feels in a city. But those are things that are out of our control, right? So I don't have the decision in how the walkability of my city is, right? Like I can vote, but those are things that are out of our decision making.
Yeah.
So you'll have things like that, which are huge because that stuff has major ramifications for public health. And, but we're just, you're talking about changing so much to get there.
I'll meet you right there. One of my guys, Chan, his name's Brian. His name's Chan. His office and family name is Chan. Yeah. But he's been with me since 2016. He spent the last year in Japan going to school, and he walked everywhere except for the distances. Walking is not feasible, and you got to take the train. But he was like, I don't know, 14 or 15,000 steps a day. He lost like 30 pounds.
100%.
The food choices are not all the same over there too. So it's like a couple of things stacked together.
Oh, brother,
made
you
a
can get
dramatic
some tasty high calorie stuff.
Yes, yes.
Trust me.
However, a focus on like optimal health though. You see a lot more normal looking people in Japan.
Yeah, it is.
I would say. There's not a nice way to say that. Like, there's less obese people in Japan.
There's more people who are, they're people who just weigh less, right? Like,
right.
Like that's.
But you're saying that part of that socioeconomic part though is that you can walk places, and like Chan would literally walk from where he was staying to school, to the store, to wherever they were doing the work, and then back home. And so he's doing 15,000 steps a day. And some days he's doing 20,000 if they're doing something like further out. And I'm like, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But full loss like 30 pounds. and he wasn't even 200 to start. He was
Yeah,
already
so-
in the 100
so-
club
that's
and
what I'm
lost
saying,
30.
Like, it's not really the decision there, right? Because the thing, like, for you to own a car in Japan, it's really hard, like, it's not easy. The easy option is to walk and to take public trans, right? Luckily, we're in San Diego and there's nice bike paths for me to take. It's nice weather out, right? Like, that's something that, and I am making that decision, right, to do. And I'm a big, like, yeah, I'm gonna, if I'm going to tell somebody else to be more active, like, I have to be that way too. But also, it's nice. It's more so, like, pleasant to ride the bike out. Like, I like doing it, right? And that makes it really easy to do, which actually really brings us into, like, bridges another kind of thing that a huge way to get people to be more active is you just make fitness in a way that they enjoy. Like, flat out. It's, if somebody doesn't enjoy doing it, like, I'm not getting on my bike to be like, I can't wait to burn these 300 more calories on this cycle. It's easy for me to get around. I genuinely like riding. It is an e-bike, but it's still, like, I'm still pedaling. I'm still getting a sweat in, but it's nice. It's great to get around. I enjoy doing it, right? I think there's a time and a place where, like, or one of the reasons I think I didn't like fitness initially is because I was forced into it. And that is where I think a lot of people, that's actually the number one reason kids quit sports. It's because they don't genuinely enjoy it and they don't like it. It's actually, who is the Olympic ice skater recently who,
oh, I don't know this.
So I don't remember her name. Recently, she was a gold medalist, got out of ice skating because it was way too competitive, too stressful. It broke her down. Recently, wanted to get back into ice skating for the Olympics.
Okay.
And her coaches flat out were like, "You're not going to be able to do this because it's just you've taken too much of a break."
Oh,
and she's like, "I want to get back into it because I want to love doing it. I don't want people to tell me how to diet. I don't want people to tell me what routine I'm doing or what I'm wearing. I want full control."
Wow.
And they were like, "Okay, we'll see how it goes." And she won she just got gold medal. She's
I
huge
didn't know
all over.
this.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Huge
Wow.
mega star now. Like absolute mega star for people because she genuinely loves being out there, right? And that's a great example of, like, what people can do when they genuinely love doing it. But also at the same time, she was so burnt out.
Yeah.
She quit at the top of the world.
Dang.
And was like, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I don't want to be and I think we do that to ourselves with fitness.
Yeah. Do you know what makes great ice, Adrian? This water break has been brought to you by Cal Coast Pest Management. Make sure you get your hydration from Cal Coast Pest Management. You need to take at least a 10 to 15 second water break in between your workouts, especially if you're doing high cardiovascular, high heart rate, high intensity training. You need to take your water. Thank you, Cal Coast Pest Management, for our water bottle. This episode is brought to you by Cal Coast Pest Management.
I just love that I have to grab this like this. It's actually a normal cup. My hands are just really small. It just got really small.
It's an 8-ounce glass, you guys. It's an 8-ounce glass. Let's actually talk about hydration really quick.
Sure, yeah.
But I'm going to come back to something else later.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm making a hard break to the right.
Sure.
I want to talk about hydration.
Yeah,
yes, we're joking about water and hydration here on the show, but it's also really, really important.
Yeah.
What have you seen as the main reasons why people fail to have their hydration on point throughout the day? Is it distraction, busyness, I don't have a water bottle by me, or whatever? Like, what are the reasons why even some of our friends and people we love just aren't hydrating properly through the day?
So I'm going to tell you what we've learned from, like, rats, because it works for us. And that's a good segue back to Cal Coast
dirty
Pest
rats.
Management. Cal Coast Pest, yeah.
Rat control by Cal Coast Pest Management.
Right, yeah. But anytime you can make something easier to do, the less hurdles there are in front of what you want to do and where you want to go, right, the easier it is. And, like, there's, like, you have a great array of books over here, and I actually love Switch. It's one of my favorite books.
Yeah.
I love Switch.
That's a great one.
And in there, they talk all the time about just hurdles in the way of the path, right? One of the things that we could do is clear out hurdles. One of those easy things is just access, right? Like, making it easy, making it fun, right? Do you have a water bottle near you that you have cold, refreshing water? Or if it's not, like, just water and you have something flavored in it, that's okay. But, like, do you have it easy to get? Or is it like you have to get this little cup and you have to walk all the way across your office to go get it, and it's just a hassle and you're busy, so you don't want to do it? A big part of that isn't even like the reminders. It's just make it easy for yourself. If there's anything I could say about, like, if you're like, oh, I really struggle with this, find ways to make it easier. And I know it's really like a duh thing, but I can't tell you how many times we don't make people all the time. And I will go out to say this. if you're just trying to improve your health, ease, if you focus on making it easier to do versus what's optimal or best, way better off for most people. I think if you're like trying to be a world-class athlete, yeah, we should be doing what's best. Like, what are the best methods and tools and resources, right? But if you're like just trying to improve your health, ease of access is probably far more important, because most people struggle with consistency than they do with like following the perfect plan.
Okay, so let's talk let's talk about that, like, nail on the head, because I see this as a discipline thing rather than a motivation thing. And
Dude, that's a good question. I love this discussion.
There's so many things that, like, oh, if I'm motivated to do it, I'll do it. Like, when are you motivated to drink water?
Cool. All right.
But if you adopt the discipline that it's just part of my day and I have to do it, like, let's talk about the habit building part.
I love it. So this is this actually goes back to it's a book called Tiny Habits, and it talks about the motivation and action curve, right? How much motivation would you need right now to run a marathon? Like right now?
Probably a lot, because I have flip-flops on.
Sure. How much motivation would you need to walk 10 feet?
Not very much at all.
Okay. So it's not a matter of the thing that makes the action happen is difficulty of task, right? You need less motivation to do an easier task.
Yeah.
Flat out.
Yeah.
Right. So the more hurdles that are in the way, the more motivation you need to do something.
Yeah.
The more we scale that back, and the less obstacles and the easier we make things, less motivation is required to do it. Right. Because the way I view discipline is the idea of discipline is doing something over and over and over again. Right.
Right.
And I think motivation, and this is a great discussion. I love talking about motivation, because I'm a huge person I get super upset when people say don't focus on motivation. I think motivation is like the fire that burns inside of us. And the harder that burns, the easier and the more you get out of what you put in, right? Now, on the discipline side, we're not going to snap my fingers and just have discipline. That's not how it works.
It's like a muscle. You got to like work up into it at the very degrees that you need it.
So how do we get people then to do the hard stuff?
You got to start with the easy stuff and work your way up.
Make it easier to do, right?
So like me pouring you a big glass of water made it easier for you to have it.
Yes,
got it.
Yeah, right.
Michael giving me this bottle made it easy for me to have it.
So, and this, going back to Switch again, because I love this book. I'm gonna keep pointing to it because it's fantastic. Because we use a lot of that. So if this bottle of water was, let's say you didn't have that water and I didn't have this water, how hard would it be to hydrate? It's a great book, by the way. I think everybody should really check that out.
Here we go. I'm gonna put it right here by you.
Yeah,
Switch.
It's not like, I just love that. I recommend this book to like almost everybody. So if we didn't have our bottles of water here, it would be hard to get for us to hydrate during this, right? So another factor for a lot of people is our environment impact. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about Japan. The environment we interact with changes our behavior, right? If the only way you have to get around is walking, guess what you do?
You walk.
Yeah. Right? If I have water in front of me, it's easy for me to have water, right? Because it's here and in front of us. Now, I joke about this because have I told you that I've done like clinical research trials and stuff like that? So like I did a 30-day long clinical research trial. So like whenever they're going to give people new drugs, they got to give it to a healthy individual. I was doing it for an oral version of a GLP-1. I was in this, I was in a ward for 30 days, right?
Whoa.
I'm a caffeine freak. Like I love caffeine. Just saying it. We all have vices.
Wait, that's water, right? That's not coffee in there? You didn't slip coffee in there, did you?
Swapped it out. No.
Oh, that's not good. It's cold brew. 50 ounces of cold brew.
That's why I'm so energetic. But I always joke that like when I'm in this ward, I don't have access to caffeine. I only have access to what they give me. So I mean, I do weigh myself before I go in, right? But like, I just don't have access to it. And at the end of the 30 days, I'm like, I just don't care for it, right? Now, I'm not saying because like
wait, hold on. Your appetite for it was just gone? Like you were just completely like, I don't even want caffeine?
Yeah, I mean, when I get back out, I'm like, hell yeah, let's get my first.
Well, okay.
But like when I'm in there, I don't think about it.
Was it a caffeine thing or was it a coffee thing? Like,
it's 100% a caffeine thing.
So you're not trying to get like decaf coffee over here?
No, I'm not. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just asking to make sure I understand.
No,
all right.
but I make this joke all the time because like I just don't have access to it, right? And again, how hard something is to do in this situation, literally impossible, right?
Yeah.
Like I would have to leave the place and be exempt from the study, which just isn't happening. But we have water everywhere. There's water bottles all over the place. You just grab and drink, and I drink plenty of water. But where I'm getting at is like I'm I'm like what you would say is addicted to caffeine, but when I'm in this place, I just don't have it. So I don't think about it because it's not around me. And then maybe for the first like couple of days, I'm like, man, I could, that's kind of sucks. But then after that, I'm like, yeah, I'm without it.
Okay, so then where would you position yourself on completely removing the vice? I'll just call it the vice for ease of our conversation. So in this example, this is just completely removed from you.
Oh yeah.
But you're also kind of saying that it built the discipline that you don't want it, and you can not have it now. So
I have
well,
I'm that. Hey, the second I get out of that place, I'm like, let me.
Then I completely misunderstood what you were saying, because you're saying you didn't want it after that.
No, when I was there, I don't think about it.
Okay, so is there any element of discipline in that at all, or you're just saying it was just completely removed and it was just by force?
That's what I'm saying. It's so. But here's the thing: what if it's flipped the other way now? Right? Not for something that I want, but for something that's being given to you. Right? And there's and I think this happens a lot because. When we talk about these things, I think that a lot of times when we talk about like health and fitness, we're flat out like it's a 100% a discipline thing. And we ignore this other like 70, 80% of it that's going on. That's like suggestion, ease of access to high calorie foods, right? Availability, advertising. I mean, you cannot stress how relevant advertising for food is. It's a $1 industry because it works, right? And they're advertising you to do these behaviors that may not be incongruent with your health.
Yeah, well, and most times they're not.
Yeah, and we make a lot of stuff is built in a way that's not congruent to be healthy. So you're literally having to swim upstream for somebody who's new, who's like lives in a lifestyle of all these things. And I think that's where like why I'm not like just effective with people, but like I understand that when people come to me and they're like, I've struggled with these things. I'm not just like, you just need more discipline. I'm like, let's make it easy.
Sure.
Let's figure this out.
Right.
How do we, how can we jive these things together? Where can we like, let's turn off, like, where are we getting ads from this stuff? Where do we turn it off? Where do we put our blinders on? Where do we make this stuff? Because every one of these things that we do makes it less about the decision to do it. Like if you just put water here, I don't have to harp on somebody to be like, drink your water. Oh, there's water in front of me. I'll have it. Right? We keep water with them, near them. We make it easy for them to get around, right? There's so many things that we could do that I don't want to say necessarily take the decision-making away, but influence decision-making to be a positive influence, right? And that's where this guy, like there's a lot of that's in this about changing the environment. That's the literal terms they use, changing the environment or adjusting the path. We want to script critical behaviors out. So these are the things like every week, go get your food so you can meal prep it.
Yeah.
How are you going to meal prep it? Let's make it easy. Toss it into a slow cooker. Here are some recipes for you. Yeah. Let's make it easy for you to do, right?
Yeah. Do the conditions contribute to the outcome you're looking for?
Yeah. Because if you make it easy, you make it fun, you make it so it feels like they're not like it's too separate from the life they're having. I'm not asking somebody to like overnight forget who you were as a person.
Right.
We're saying, hey, let's make these changes. Yeah. And then over time, it's more of like a curve to get them where they want to go. And like an abrupt boom, I'm not having carbs tonight. Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's where it allows me to be effective with people is just doing those things.
So you have a lot of gratification, obviously. It's clearly demonstrated when we talk to you about this, and you talk about it all the time. We hear about it in the meeting, but also in conversations like this, you're very enthusiastic about it.
Oh yeah.
Why is it so important for you to reach these people that are looking for your help? Why is it so important to Adrian, the guy, my friend Adrian, not just the guy who's the fitness nerd online, but like what in you is so important that this is what you're waking up every day and spending your time focused on?
Because I think we can all live a better life.
Like, okay, but where does that come from, though?
It comes from
like everyone can say that, but for you,
I think it's I felt how fitness changed me in a positive way, right? Because I've had some dark parts of my life where I was alone in New York and I was I just didn't feel good. And I remember when I was like younger too, and like fitness has given me, when I talked about earlier about water polo, it's given me community. I didn't have that initially, but like it's given me community. And even now, the friends I've made because of fitness, the way I've challenged myself to be better, there's all these things that I'm like, we can live a better, healthier life. Like you don't have to feel this way, And I don't think it takes much to change your life in a way to be positive, right? Sure, if you want to step on stage and have a six-pack, that's going to take a lot of effort, right? But I think I think this industry is plagued with people who step on stage who tell people who just want to lose 10, 15 pounds and feel better with their kids how to live their life. And there's total incongruence there. But we get the same messaging, which is like, you need to walk 12,000 steps a day. You need to be lifting 7 days a week. You need to be doing these ultra strict diets. And again, but like somebody who's just like, I just want to chase after my kid and be active with them. Like, that's not the same, you know, recipe or solution or plan.
Yeah.
And I think that we just get a lot of that. And I'm like, no, you can make these changes.
Yeah.
Like, let me show you how, right?
Yeah.
Because I've felt those changes internally to myself, and I'm so much happier and more grateful because of it. And I'm like, other people can experience this, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the big things is like fitness. Like, I think if there's anything that's just close to a wonder drug that we can get to, I legitimately think fitness is one of those things. Both psychologically, how it helps us learn, what it does for our body, right? But it is one of those things that the more you do, the more you get out of it. But again, even a little bit gives you something back.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a valuable lesson with fitness. It's not like if you only do, the benefit only comes in after 4 hours or 5 hours of training. No, it's immediate. You know, 5 minutes today adds up. 5 minutes tomorrow adds up, right? And I think there's a lot of that stuff that like if people just like walk away with and they start doing those little things, and we're talking about like, well, where can we make it easy? Where can we marry these two ideas of being active with your kids? I think a lot of people just be better off that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you just have this. It's coming across like this very deep seated sense of duty to do this and help people get that in their life.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people have just been led astray, you know, and that's. Who knows? I don't want to point any fingers anywhere, but I think it's just like the way the culture has gone for so long for like fitness culture.
Fitness culture, yeah.
That we've seen such extremes, right? Because it used to be. Shout out to to the legend Richard Simmons.
Oh my God! Hey,
fun.
Are you saying that because of my headband right now?
Yes. No. But like, think about. I always talk about Richard Simmons. I bring this up a lot because what a goat. He would just go around being like, let's have fun with fitness, right?
Hey guys, what are you doing over there? Something different? Let's do aerobics.
Yeah, but like, think about like, dude, that man has gotten so many people to be active, right? But like over the years, it's gotten more hardcore, more extreme, more and cool, right? There's a crowd and the people for that. But again, like, there's also, I think, like, fitness doesn't need to be like, I love hard fitness. You know what I mean? Like, I love pushing myself. I love power cleans and back squats and hill sprints and trail running, and that's where I love that. Yeah. But like, that's not for everybody.
No, you're a powerful dude, man. Like, dude, these videos of you are crazy. I remember watching them during shutdown. I'm like, dude, this fool's putting up huge weight right now.
You just got to keep at it, right? You just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other. But like, and again, like what I like to do, and what, you know, Susie B with bad knee, who wants to lose 40 pounds so she can go to Disney World with her kids and not have her knee slow her down, right? That doesn't need the same thing.
Dude, I love you, man. That's so great. I love that because like you're looking at how you can reach people where they're at, not just trying to let people find you where you're at first. Yeah. It's always like them first, right? It's that it's that giver's game spirit, really, what it is.
I learned this quote, and I'll never forget this, where it's somebody who learns for themselves is an amateur. Somebody who learns for other people is a professional. And the second I heard that, it like flipped the switch of like, my learning isn't like, I mean, I still love learning about like power cleans, but like my learning came to how do I help other people, right? How do I help them, and who am I serving? And that's the thing, right? You have to know who you're kind of serving. And this was actually one of the one of the first books I got into, and it's still, I reference it all, like literally all the time. You got a bunch of other really good ones here, but like, but this one specifically was what we're talking about today. But yeah, so, and I think that's one of those things I learned that I heard that, and then I was just like, yeah, like it's not about me learning how to maximize my muscle up, because I love learning it, but that's for me, you know, that's me being selfish, right? Or not selfish, just me learning for myself.
Yeah.
And, but when I learn how to like, I always kind of like phrase it like, I am just a strategy like hoarder. I just like, when I hear something and I'm like, oh, it's a better way to phrase that. Or I hear something and I'm like, well, that's a good way to do that.
Grab on his whole
tool in my toolbox. Yeah. Can't wait to use that with somebody, because somebody's going to all mention it and they'll be like, oh, that's a great way to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
ding, keep it.
Yeah, cool. I updated. And I do that all the time. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, I
Well,
think
no,
it
that's
would be-
growth. That's growth. That's just
Yeah,
growth in
literally,
that.
that's
There's
called learning.
maturity.
It's called learning.
That's literally the definition of learning.
Yeah, yeah, really, right? But I hear stuff all the time. Like, there's something that I heard that, like, talking about like things or just sound bites you learn for clients. I heard this thing that was just like, this is for nutrition. Have what you want, but add what you need. And I loved that phrasing of, like, because so many people, like, yeah, have some of what you want, but, like, let's just add in what you need. And this idea is called displacement. Like, there's an actual term for it. It's studied, where if you just add in more things that you need, you'll have less of the things that are, like, that you want. But if
Wow.
you still have
Yeah.
what you want,
Dude, that's so good.
it's so simple. And
Yeah,
I just
that's
love
good.
it, because most people just need, like, we need veggies, we need lean proteins, we need, some healthy fats. I think,
Yeah.
you just have some of the other stuff too, but
Yeah.
like, add what you need, and I think you just keep hammering down the add what you need, and people can do that route. So
All right. Well, you don't know you're stepping on all these landmines today, man. We're going to talk about another ad that you need right now, which most people overlook and underestimate. It's called sleep. I want you to talk
Yes.
about the value of sleep connected to fitness because, dude, I am telling you right now, it is probably the most critical part towards waking up and being ready the next day is adequate sleep the night before, the conditions in which you sleep, and it totally affects the workout you do or don't do.
Yeah.
And what you get out of it. So if you're gonna if you're already struggling with time as a workout and you don't prepare sleep to get ready for that, you're going to be super upset that your workout sucks the next day or you didn't get what you want out of it because you didn't prepare. That's my 2 cents. Adrian, go.
I fully believe. Well, you mentioned earlier about me some tryouts I had. So I tried out for the Brazil's national team for lacrosse to be in the Olympics, and I legit, like, looking back on it, I had to take. There's 2 things that I think literally led me to not making the team, because I was, like, right on the bubble. Right, I was on the bubble, and it sucked that I didn't make the team, and I'm so heated by it. But there's 2 things. One was I took a red eye, because I should have, I took a red eye over, and because I had to make time to get to the shuttle, the only option was to travel overnight. I didn't sleep on the plane, and just the way things were, I couldn't sleep during the day. And when we came to our tryouts, like, I could just tell on the day 1 of tryouts, I was just, like, lagging. That was a huge thing. If I had to do it again, I'm gonna get there either early or sleep. I have a bunch of friends in Boston, so, like, I can just sleep on a couch for a night, get some rest, get out there. I'm going to do that next time, because you're right. The other thing was I rolled my ankle at the beginning of tryouts, and that sucked, and that affected things. But literally those 2 things, sleep will impair a lot of stuff. Most people don't know that when we talk about, like, sleep, you just need restful sleep. I think there's a lot of people who put hours on it. I think we're all going to be different, and it definitely changes as you age. For I don't even know how many hours, about 20,000 hours babies need to sleep. I don't know what it is.
That's per day, 20,000 per day.
20. But then as you get older too, your sleep changes as you age, right?
Yeah.
So there's different like sleep parameters. But if you're not sleeping enough, right? This is why impacted sleep is a huge precursor to diabetes. It's one of the biggest precursors actually to diabetes, because it impacts our blood sugar. And the other thing which makes it a bigger impact for health is if you have lack of sleep, it can impact your hunger signals to eat about 300 to 400 more calories a day, and typically not the best things. Your body's trying to recover. It recovers one way by eating calories, right? So it goes, hey, dude, you didn't get enough sleep. Guess how we're going to help you with this? We're going to eat more.
It's a compensating factor. It compensates for that, but you're adding extra fuel you don't need or you're not going to expend.
Yeah. So whenever we talk with people and they're like, oh, like, and they're telling us about, like, oh, I'm always so hungry, and I'm like, it's one of the things that we look at is sleep, because if you train harder, you feel good. That's a huge thing. Sleep, I'm not sure. Yeah. So, sleep will greatly impact your performance, but if you feel like, not great all the time, it's just harder to do other things. It's hard for you to get to the gym when you're exhausted, right? It's hard to do that stuff. And again, the harder something is to do, the less likely you are to do it.
And I know this, I know this firsthand too. Like, I'll just say it. There's times when I have not slept well, and I'm looking at, well, man, what am I going to cut out of my day so I can go catch up on sleep? Like, first of all, this idea that I'm going to catch up on the sleep, that's not, like, necessarily scientifically proven.
Yeah,
okay,
maybe
of all,
a day or two, but, like, after that point.
But what I'm admitting is I'm looking to take something out of my day so I can rest when I should have already done it. And that
Yeah.
usually is going to be that exercise part. Well, I'm too tired today. I don't want to get hurt, or you know what, I'm better off sleeping, which might be true,
Yeah.
but then it eliminates that exercise component of the day.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just so many hours. This is actually something I'm struggling with another client. Is we're just so strapped thin on hours. Like he's like, because he has a 2-hour commute and he's working for a long time, and when he gets home, he again, he doesn't want to ignore his kids and his family. There's just so few hours. And like when we're designing his fitness plan, that was a huge hurdle. I mean, we know. But the way I like to do plans is we start with a concept, we see how it works, and then we adjust based on where there's friction and what's going on. And like it was just he was having a really hard time, and we ultimately just like we really had to talk about like his goals and what's going on, and we're like, dude, we got to like, because of the commute and other things, like we're gonna have to find some activity at your lunchtime, like whether it's walking or when you actually work out, we need to like crunch this down to like 30 minutes twice a week, like just because like these other things are such important factors in sleep. So he was just exhausted all the time, and I'm like, well, we need to give it somewhere, you know what I mean? And you have to view health and fitness holistically. I think there's a lot of times we're like, oh, it's just nutrition, or oh, it's just fitness. These things are really intertwined. Yeah. So you have to view it like he probably feels good getting a workout in, and he does. He's like, this is me time. I spend so much time doing this other stuff that fitness to him isn't just a workout. It's his time with himself, you know, for himself.
Yeah.
So it's tough to be like, we're going to take that away for these other things as well. So it's like, it really is difficult. But if you are trying to get better sleep, I would encourage like huge things. I started sleeping with a sleep mask. Huge.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
100, huge.
Okay.
I don't care. Like I slap that bad boy on and I'm just out. That and I just went to either earplugs or like I'll listen to like something very that just calms
like
me.
all subtle.
Just out. Yeah. So like temperature has a lot. It's been hot lately. I don't have AC at my place, so like I can tell that impacts my sleep. You need like temperature control if you can. If you can't, then sorry. it is what it is. You got to deal with it. But anything that like blocks lights is a huge thing. And also because if you have a spouse or significant other or just anybody else in the home, they might have lights on that, and like even like little things, like sometimes like light coming in from under like doors, right? It gets you up. So sleep mask, earplugs, just zone out. Yeah, that's huge. I mean, there's always like the stuff, I'm sure people have heard about like blue light stuff, but I really think that if we're going to be talking about like sleep, just setting up a routine. You're like, it's 9 o'clock. So I close my book, I turn off the TV, I go lie in my bed. You just need a point that you're like, after this show or after this thing, then that's when I start going to bed.
Yeah.
Because your body loves routine. It loves rhythm. So once you start getting into that rhythm and routine and just doing, then limiting the things that keep you up, then you're going to be, should help out a lot.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I think, sleep is just something so important. I mean, we even had to bring on a sleep sponsor for this show right here. You are inside BNI Partners Excellence, famous for your dad jokes and one-liners. Do you want to tell us one to close out the show today?
I'm famous for my bad dad jokes.
Well, I didn't say that. I just said dad jokes.
Mushroom walks into the bar. He's all, hey, bartender, give me a beer. And the bartender's all, we don't serve mushrooms here. What are you doing? He's all, come on, I'm a fun guy.
Having trouble sleeping? Ask your doctor about Dad Joke-A-Set, powered by Dadjokazine hydrochloride. Clinically proven to make eyelids heavy after just one terrible punchline. Side effects may include eye rolling, uncontrollable groaning, and hearing, "Hi, hungry, I'm Dad," against your will. So the next time insomnia keeps you awake, don't count sheep, count dad jokes. Ask if Dad Joke-A-Set is right for you. Dad Joke-A-Set, sleep through the punchline. Dad Joke-A-Set is not intended for people with functioning sense of humor. Side effects may include excessive eye rolling, audible groaning, secondhand embarrassment, involuntary sighing, pretending to laugh out of politeness, and an uncontrollable urge to say, "That's actually pretty clever." Do not operate heavy machinery while listening to dad jokes. Avoid prolonged exposure to barbecue dads, hardware stores, or anyone wearing New Balance shoes. If your dad begins explaining why the joke is funny, remove yourself from the conversation immediately. Consult your physician if laughter lasts longer than 3 seconds. Although that's considered extremely unlikely with Dad Joke-A-Set. 1001, 1002.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hey, we're back. I'm not sure if you saw me counting, but anyways, Adrian, I wanted to ask you, what are the top 3 things that people are coming to the Fitness Nerd Online for right now? What should everybody be looking for and considering you for and sending you people to help with?
Yeah, for sure. I think the 3 biggest ones is, one is training either around injury or post-injury, right? So not physical therapy. After you do physical therapy, that's when you're like, hey, you're ready to train. But to train with bad backs, working around that stuff, that's a huge thing. that a lot of people need help with, and they just don't know what to do. Another big one is people who aren't really sure where to start. They might have been active in fitness, but haven't worked out in a very long time, like years. And they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't feel great where I'm at, and I feel ashamed to start. Those are great clients. I get quite a few people who like need help with that. And then people are just totally overwhelmed. They're like, maybe they're doing stuff and it's just too hard sustaining what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're not sure anymore, or there's just so much information. They're just overwhelmed with it. I think those are like the big three that I see a lot of, is like the working around injuries or special needs, the people who are new and they haven't worked out in a long time, and then people are just overwhelmed with what's going on.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I actually have a couple more questions that I like asking everybody, because they're really more personal.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful you came and talked about all this today. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you putting up with all my antics today.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we've had a theme show on this show, so I'm so glad that I got to get out some of my stuff today, do a theme show with you. Thank you for all of the exercise tips. And also, I appreciate you talking about hydration and sleep and just all that stuff. So important. I think it's a lot overlooked. But when we talk about wellness in general right now, there's just so many things that are, I think, changing. I think people online are a huge factor for who I see making better quality of life decisions for themselves too. And you're in that batch, man. You're helping people do that. And I mean, 23,000 plus people and 400 pending on your Facebook group is nuts. That's okay. Coming soon. You're approved. I wanted to ask you, if you were able to share a meal with somebody, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh man. Oh, okay. I got this, but it's not gonna be anybody knows. So, I would love to share a meal with my aunt. So a little bit of backstory. My aunt was a nun, and she volunteered at St. Vincent de Paul for the home of battered wife. There's actually a plaque for her. She, like, anybody I've ever, so one of the most amazing people. She has a doctorate from Berkeley, like, at the time too. Like, so she was one of the most influential people, like me growing up. She would volunteer her time in the prisons in Tijuana, like blankets, and like a genuine like modern day Jesus, like would come and would do thankless, right? But she got me into, she was so good at like getting me into like the sciences and art and taking me hiking and just being like this quality person.
Wow.
And died when I was 13 due to breast cancer. And I would love to sit down with her for her to see who I am today and have that meal. I don't think I would pass it anybody else in history.
Dude, you knew that one right away.
Well,
you must be thinking about
famous?
this.
But you know what? There's this on Instagram. There's like a question kind of like this. It's like a card thing, and something like that came up, and I thought about it. It was like, if somebody walked in this room, who would you want to have a conversation with?
Wow.
It was the same, and I really thought about it one day, and I was like, with her, without a doubt, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. What a special moment. That's really cool to have her in your corner like that.
Yeah, one of the most amazing people I've ever met, and it's great whenever I meet somebody who knew her. They say the same thing. And it's a trip. Like,
that's special.
Yeah,
that's really special to be able to say that. If I were to hand you a microphone in the center of an arena with 100,000 people, and you get to thank somebody, I know there's lots of people you'd want to thank.
Yeah.
If you could just pick one right now that you want to thank, who is it?
How could it be anybody but like my? I mean,
I don't know.
My wife.
Who would you thank, and what do you want to say?
So when I got married to Charlene, I made a joke about her. Like, I didn't really have any money and stuff. I'm working and whatnot, but like, I made a joke about that, but her sticking with me through thick and thin and never have any money, and I'm trying to make something of myself, and her making that decision. And until the day I die, I'm grateful for her for doing that.
I made that same joke to Jen once, but it was literally my thick and my thin. Hey-o, exercise jokes, fitness nerd online. I'm a nerd too.
Yeah, there you go.
I cannot pretend like I'm not cool, dude. Everyone knows that.
No, you're not. Awesome. I love you.
No, I'm a nerd. I'm honestly a nerd. Look at all these books.
No.
A freaking nerd.
I was talking to somebody about you. I don't know if we can plug Andy first, but
in my outfit right now, for real.
Let me see if you have it up here. Do you have Outliers up here? Oh no, wait, not Outliers.
I do have Outliers. It's up. It's upstairs.
I'm not thinking of Outliers. What's another Malcolm Gladwell? Tipping Point.
Oh yeah, I have that book too.
So Tipping Point. You in Tipping Point, to talk about one of the things that helps things like go viral. Do you remember what one of those is? Because you are literally, they call them connectors. You are, I think out of anybody, I was talking to somebody, I was like, dude, Andy, and I was like, literally like at a tipping point, just a connector. Like I feel like you know everybody and you're so good, because that's a skill in itself. But it's a valuable skill, because like I think you're just like wired to like be like you like you guys would go well together. My brain doesn't work that way. But like you do that, and I think it's so awesome that you can do that, because I'm always like, what the hell, man? Like, how does he do these things and think of that stuff? And it's amazing.
I don't know. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you. I did not think of tipping point and think that about myself. I don't think about that.
It's a huge part. It's like a tipping point. There's like 3 things. And that's
I know, but I'm saying I don't apply that to like what to who I am and how I like operate and do stuff. But I appreciate that. That was very kind of you. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Before we go, I have to let you say any final words you have to say about Fitness Nerd Online.
Yeah.
Any words of advice for anybody? Like,
Yeah.
if you had a takeaway, you were gonna like look at the camera and give someone a word of encouragement. What would you want to tell them?
You don't give up. You're important, and people care about you. So, but biggest thing is just don't give up. It's a hard journey. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes we want to give up, but don't. It's if there's one thing, like being just not logically, just being relentless and resilient, more so like resilient, and just continuing to push forward gets you a lot of places. It opens a lot of doors. It gets you into a lot of things, but especially on this journey, because from today till the end of time, just stuff happens, and you have to just march on. It can be easier some days. That's okay. It's going to be harder some days. That's fine. But like, just commit to putting one foot in front of the other and taking that one step. So don't give up. Be resilient about it. You matter. So
all right. And then how can everyone find you online and connect with you?
Yeah, you can find my group, Fitness Nerd Forum. It's probably the easiest one. Just hopefully you're not waiting in the pending 2 pod. But just join that, because that's where like you just get, it's just you're part of the community. It's super low key and easy, right? You can always email me, Adrian at fitnessnerdonline.com. But if you just join the group, it's Facebook. There's a lot of us. And it's just come in and chat. Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to put Adrian's contact details in the description box below. I need to exercise my words is what I need to go do. But dude, thank you so much for being here, and thank you all for watching the BNI Partners Excellence Show. Now, coming soon will be the post-meeting walk and talk with Andy and Adrian. We're going to put together a couple of activities after the meeting where you bring your workout clothes and we go walk or lightly jog, or we do some semi-calisthenics around the golf course after our meeting. So keep your ears open for that. We're going to put a couple dates in the calendar when this foot is healed up, and we're going to get out there and do some healthy movements and activities with one another. Remember to stay hydrated, remember to get proper sleep, and remember to continue taking care of each other with a giver's gain attitude. Thank you all for watching the BNI Partners in Excellence podcast. If you are in business and you're looking to grow your business through qualified referrals, you can check out BNI Partners Excellence with me and Adrian and the rest of the crew every single Wednesday down at the Chula Vista Golf Course in Bonita. That's right, the Chula Vista Golf Course in Bonita. The link to visit our chapter is below. We will see you all with another great guest next week. Later, we're going to work out. Yeah, let's go. Hey, I think this is the coolest show we've done. You can't tell everybody else that, but I think this is the coolest one we've done. How short is too short? Like, how short or too short? Like, wait,
what are you talking about? Are we talking about shorts?
Yeah, what shorts are too short?
Dog, there's no shorts that are too short.
No, because there's like
I have
there's like 5-inch inseam shorts now, and I'm like, I don't know about that.
Did you get the legs for it though? Like, what are we talking? What are you?
Yeah, like that inner thigh muscle right there.
Dude,
like, boom.
I think if you got the legs, you just.
I don't know who's got them in the chapter. You think which dude do you think's got the which dude do you think's got the quads for that? Ooh. Let's guess right now.
Man, I bet Miguel might.
I think Miguel. You know who else I think? Nick Collada.
Oh, there's a couple. Who's the?
I think Nick Collada.
I can see Nick Collada. You know who also is
Manny.
Yeah.
Manny. I think Manny's got the thighs. I think he's got the quads for that, bro.
Like he trains quite a bit.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't like to see that, but I bet he would.
Yeah. Wait. What? And cut! This water break has been brought to you by Cal Coast Pest Management. Make sure you get your hydration from Cal Coast Pest Management. You need to take at least a 10 to 15 second water break in between your workouts, especially if you're doing high cardiovascular, high heart rate, high intensity training. You need to take your water. Thank you, Cal Coast Pest Management, for our water bottle. This episode is brought to you by Cal Coast Pest Management.